Hi, it's Sandy and thank you for joining me creating these really sweet gift cards and bookmarks. And even though I've got a really simple watercolor design, if you don't have watercolors, that's okay because you can actually use textures, pencils, or if you've got watercolor pencils or markers, anything to give it a nice simple background is great for these nice ink designs to stand out. And we also have token cards. So you can actually slide these in the gift card and it's a gift all in one. So if you're not confident doing the gift cards, make sure that you download the free stencil available at thecalmstudio.com.au and you can print those out or you can maybe trace them and try it yourself that way. Anyway, grab your materials and let's get started. Okay, so here we have our designs. Really simple designs and the tokens go on the inside. And remember, if you aren't confident doing these tokens, just print them out from thecalmstudio.com.au and you can just slide them. This one's simple as well with more of a rectangular design. And again, the tokens. And this one has a more of a fluid wash design with these little daisies on the front, and you can also address it to Nana as well. So these are just a great all-in-one gift and you write whatever you like on them. You can also do it in a bookmark, so it's going to be half the size of the A5 sheet which I've got here. Now if you don't have A5 size watercolor card, that's okay, get A4 and cut it in half. And if you don't have watercolor paper, just use maybe a heavier, thicker paper if you've got some of that. This is watercolor paper and it works well with obviously watercolor paints. And this is the paints that I've got. So it looks just like a really messy palette, but you don't need to clean them because watercolors can just get reactivated with water. So it's a really good idea to always keep your palettes the way they are so then you don't waste paint. So we've got a pen as well. This is just a standard felt tip pen from a variety store. And we've obviously got our page. Now if you want the bookmarks, you need to turn them the other way around and cut down the middle. So just measure the paper in half and cut down the middle. Okay. So this one we're going to be doing with some watercolor paints. So I'm just getting my watercolor paint really wet, and that's the key with these washi designs at the back. Just a lot of water with your watercolor paint and make it really wet. So it's almost like a milk consistency. And then I'm mixing it up with another shade of blue, this time more of a sky blue to make a little bit of just a little bit more interesting. Again, lots of water. And I'm just going to blend it up just that little bit more. And then just leave that to dry, and that's as easy as what it is. You don't have to do anything more to that. If you're a little bit impatient like me, you can get a hairdryer and dry it. Just make sure the hairdryer is well away from it and it doesn't move the paint around. So this design is really sweet and super, super simple. So we're just going to grab whatever paint colour you like. For me, I'm just going to use a little bit of red, orange and yellow. And you literally just splodge that paint on the card. And you let the watercolour do its magic. It dries really nice. Just put them randomly on the page, wherever you want. I'll grab a little bit of yellow now. And then you can leave that as is, but I'm just going to finish it off with really simple green stems. So I'm just going to clean my brush and get a little bit of green paint. Just make sure there's no water that's going to drip on the paper. Add water to my pigment. And with the vertical brush, just really gently put a stem and then a leaf. And the leaf I apply with a flat brush. So the stems, the brush is vertical, straight up and down, and then the leaf is flat. So now we just leave that to dry as well, okay? And then let that watercolour dry nicely into the paper. So this one is one I've done earlier. So the way I've folded it is I've got my ruler out and I've divided that card in half. And then just grab your ruler, and then what you can do is use your ruler as a guide to fold it. So then you get a nice seam. There you go, ready to do the design. So grab your felt tip pen. And I'm just going to do some really simple flowers. So I'm going to have them so it's looking up to the sun. So I'm going to put the middle part of the flower further up, and then those petals are longer at the base and then just small ones at the top there. And just finishing off with the leaf. So again, I'm putting the middle up the top there, and the petals are longer down the front and really small if you want to include those at the top, and it makes the flower look like it's facing upwards. This one I'm just going to do a front-on view just to show you. It's a really simple flower design, and that's the beauty about these card designs, is that they're really whimsical and sweet. Okay, just work your way around the rest of the painted design. Okay, and there you have it, just about done. Now we'll just add whatever writing up there that you want. I'm just going to put down the word mum on that. Just keeping it really simple. So the next design is more rectangular, and just by adding a couple of strokes on the page and some simple leaf designs, you can create another really interesting design for the card. And you can finish this off with just some random little lines to give it a rectangular border. And again, make it whimsical. It doesn't have to be too perfect. And then just finish it off with the word mum, and you can fold that as we did with the other one. And this is more of a bookmark design, so just a really simple line going up the top and some leaves. Now you can colour those leaves in if you like. You can get a Sharpie or a black texter, whatever you've got, and fill them in, or fill them in with the felt pen. I'm just going to add a few little V shapes there for some birds to give it a bit of perspective. And that one's done. This one I'm going to add a really simple daisy on this, just like we did with the other cards. There we go, a few little birds again, and that looks really sweet. Okay, so on to the tokens themselves. They slot in really nicely, so you need to cut the A5 size card in half again for them to fit in. So this is an oval shaped design, and again, make it really whimsical. It doesn't have to be perfect. The whole point of these designs is that there's nothing really perfect about them. They're just fun. Just finish it off with a little bit of a curve around it. And you can just write in it, you know, the to, which is to your mum or to Nana or whoever you're gifting these cards to. This one's got a bit of a crown design. So it's sort of kind of like a heart with a little stem and a little love heart at the top. Completing these designs with things like dots and other lines, love hearts, leaves, flowers. Maybe you can actually design some yourself. So then just all around this another oval shape, do continuous letter M's. So if you just go M, M, M all the way around the oval and then add dots in the center, it makes a really cute design. So now you can just write to, and then I put down on it voucher for. And what that means is you're giving the voucher for, say, hugs or a foot rub or a cup of tea in bed, whatever you want to gift the person you're giving it to. So there you go, it slots in really nicely. So here are some other very, very simple designs. These have got loops in them, so a couple of loops on each corner. And the next design has a loop just on the top. So a simple rectangle and just some loops at the top, but it looks really sweet. And then you can actually add some tokens on the back of the bookmark design. So maybe think about doing ones in a circle shape. I'm just doing some with random circles that have love hearts around the edges. And again, it's all really random and whimsical. Very homemade looking. So this is a bit of a love heart theme here. I'm doing a square shape this time. Dots are always a good filler. And then the last one we can do maybe in an oval design. Again, finish it off with some love hearts and those curves that we did before. And a few dots around the oval. Okay, so just fill in each token. And then to make it a complete bookmark, you just need to add a hole in it. If you don't have a hole punch, don't worry about this part too much. If you can try and put a hole in it, maybe with a pencil, just be careful of your finger. And then just grab some string. I've got some twine here, folding it in half, and looping it through the hole, and then you can make a tag for the bookmark, and it's all done. So in the center, in the actual center of each token, you can add these dotted lines so it looks like you can, your mum or nana can cut them out and give them back and redeem their vouchers. In pencil, I'm just going to write the words Happy Mother's Day. Just make sure that I've got it the way I want it looking, and then I'll just go over that in the felt tip pen. And just rub that pencil out. There we go, all done. I hope you enjoyed that, and most of all, I hope the recipient loves it even more. Thanks for joining me.